The other day I realized I have absolutely no friends.
What made you think about this?
Because I posted pictures for our anniversary, and I realized like all of my bridesmaids I'm either like we don't speak anymore, or haven't spoken in 5 years, or like they never were my friend to begin with. It was like your cousin's wife.
Yeah. It's like I have a lot of family members, so I had a lot of groomsmen. So I have a lot of brothers and cousins, like a ton.
Yeah.
And so for you just to fill the spot, you had to use my cousin's wife.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I guess you do know her. Like, we did hang out and stuff, but it's like not like,
It's a
friend you had
stretch.
for a very long time.
And I actually had 2 girls that I'd asked to be my bridesmaids that ended up like not being able to come to the wedding at all.
Oh, they were out of town or something.
Yeah, they both were out of but it's like if they were your real friend, they would come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if circumstances allow it. But didn't you offer to pay for a plane ticket?
Yeah.
And she's still, ooh.
And she was going to be my maid of honor. But, that's so embarrassing because it's like I felt so close to her and she clearly didn't feel that way towards me.
Right, with free plane tickets and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And I think she felt bad, but how awkward, How awkward did I make her feel? Like, if you don't like somebody like that and then they're asking you to be their maid of honor, I'm that person.
Why did you want her to be your maid of honor?
Because I liked her. I felt like out of everyone, she was the most most similar to me.
That's awkward.
It's really awkward.
That's like when you're out in public and someone waves and you think they're waving at you and you wave back.
And you're so excited and then they're not waving at you.
Yeah, and you realize they're waving at somebody else. That's you.
That's me. But I've never really been good at making friends my age. I've never been good at it.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, growing up, okay, my brother is 4 years younger and he has Asperger's. So that was a very challenging relationship on its own. And he's opposite gender, Asperger's, 4 years younger already. So not in high school with me at all. Then my next closest relatives are 4 years older and they live out of state. Like when we were growing up, one lived in Alabama, one lived in California, I live in Missouri. So, I mean, in that 8-year span, almost a whole decade, I didn't have anyone, you know what I mean? So I'm always in these adult conversations or babysitting,
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. Like, I've known you didn't have a ton of friends for a long time.
Yeah.
We've been together forever, and you just never really have had that many close connections. And
No.
I always had like a bunch of family and a decent amount of friends throughout history. I mean, right now, I really only have like one friend, so I'm just about in the same boat as you.
Yeah,
and
but you still have so many relatives.
Yeah, I have a ton of brothers,
Yeah.
cousins and stuff. But the one friend I do have, definitely not as close as we used to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, that just might be a part of growing up. But it's like even like my dad has friends he talks to every day.
Right.
Every
is it
single
our
day.
generation?
I guess. I think social media just changed everything.
Right? Because then, you feel like, okay, one girl that I've been friends with since childhood, she was, I don't really consider her a friend because we haven't seen each other in 5+ years. She would never come visit, but it's the closest thing I have to a friend, right? And it's typically maybe we tell each other happy birthday when that comes around on Facebook.
Right, but you don't call each other and just talk about how your day went.
No, that'd be so awkward if we
you
did.
want to vent, or you just want to, someone to bounce some ideas off
Right,
of.
I don't know where she works, if she has a boyfriend.
Dang.
I don't know anything about
you got
her.
Nobody.
No.
Literally.
I know, and the craziest thing is, after my dad died in 2018, it was I felt extremely vulnerable because I felt like you were the only person in my world that I considered a friend, like someone I could actually enjoy doing things with,
Yeah, that's got to be scary because relationships are not unconditional. They're not permanent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Relationships fade away when you never thought they would.
Yeah.
And if I'm the only person in your corner like that, I mean, that has to feel...
It was so scary because it's even when Jack was born, it's I don't have anyone that's going to bring balloons to the hospital or make us food and come visit or none of that kind of.
My mom brought you a gift.
She did, but she happened to be in town and that I actually really appreciated that, probably more than she would ever know because it's just, you can't I would take what I consider her a friend in a weird way, She's much older, but like my life has always been like much older people or people I consider my friends.
Because that's like growing up, that's who you're practicing communicating and relating with.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have peers.
Well, because then, you know, my cousins who were much older, like 10 years older, were always like teenagers when I'm a kid or young 20-somethings when I'm a teen. So it's like we definitely didn't hang out and connect. So then it's like the next level, my mom's peers, am I going to be talking with them? So I was always like befriending 40, 50-year-old people when I'm 10 years old, you know?
Yeah.
Like I used to go to my next door neighbor's house and she was in her 80s. And I would go over there
to hang out,
to play, to like watch. I used to watch all kinds of old shows with my dad and with her and stuff. Her name was Miss Sweets, and she had like a little jar of candies that were like gold, like old school. Yeah, and like she had a picture of her and President Kennedy, and like I loved her. I would take my Barbie dolls over there, and like I think she felt bad for me. I don't think she was my friend, but she even
sounds like she was your friend.
Yeah, she went to Grandparents' Day with me. Yeah, right?
Oh, she went to Grandparents' Day?
She did. And I mean, I thought she was super cool, you know? And like my dad came home drunk and like we had like this stop sign. I don't know where we got it from. It was like a real stop sign. And we took pictures with him, like with the stop sign. He was like drunk. And, like, I don't know. But I thought she was my friend, you know?
Yeah. And, I mean, it sounds like she was in a different kind of way.
Right? But it's strange because I feel like there's an element of like our peers are just a lot of times the girls that I've met that are our age, I'm just not into the same things at all.
Yeah, you're completely different than like the, I guess, typical things I see on social media. Like what people are up to.
Yeah.
You're not up to that.
Yeah, like, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I feel like it's way more normal to be able to, you know what I mean? I would die in nature because I'd be alone all the time. You know what I mean?
No, you have me.
Yeah.
I protect you.
You saved me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, in theory, it's like I would have been died already before I met you if we didn't have like organized like school.
I would have just found you sooner.
But like, I don't know. I used to play Sims. Like I still played Sims until like a year ago, right? I know I would totally play Sims right now if I like had the setup for it, but you know.
You had the time.
Yeah, I'm momming. But it's like, I loved like playing video games. And I loved like, you know, I have weird fashion and stuff, you know. And I feel like, I don't know, people, like I was on all these dance teams and things, and the girls I would make friends with were like not really friends, you know? It was just like situational relationships, kind of like coworkers that as soon as you change jobs, you never talk to them again.
Right.
So it was just
or
like
you leave that school.
Yeah. So it was just like every situation in life would be like that. Like every year, every.
So basically, you just had a bunch of more or less surface level connections.
Yeah.
I think that's really common, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Like the whole no friends, surface level connections. Like you might have a bunch of people say happy birthday to you on social media, on Facebook or something. But then like if you really want to talk to somebody about something or vent or, you know, bounce ideas, get advice, you have no one to turn to.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of surface level connections.
And especially like modern day, like some of my closer relationships, like one of my bridesmaids that I considered probably one of my closer almost friends. I don't really know if I know what a friend is, but the closest I've had, right? The closest thing, I felt like she was really cool until like 2019, 2020.
Yeah,
and then
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was like just our values became like so polarly opposite. Like we were literally opposite sides of the same coin almost. Like literally she's in the opposite divergent path of me. And it was just crazy, you know, because it's like, dang, you can't really be friends with people modern day unless you agree on like almost everything.
Yeah, you guys have different values, different politics. And it's like you wanted to start a family. Like that's the direction you want to take your life. And she was talking about she wants to take you on girls' trips out of the country and stuff.
Yeah, she wanted to be a side chick, you know?
Yeah.
Like she literally was like, dude is with his high school sweetheart and she wants a side chick for dude. And she liked the perks of like not having to be committed, not having to clean up the house and take care of him, but getting to go to wherever, you know what I mean? Like getting to travel and getting perks.
I thought she wanted to be the main chick.
Allegedly, you know what I'm
you're
saying?
saying actions versus
But it's like
words.
her actions were like not main chick action. She's not trying to put up with what his main chick was putting up with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, who cares about her? But
But I'm just
basically,
saying,
your values were going in different directions.
totally different paths.
And then in 2020, I think politics put the nail in the coffin of that relationship.
Yeah.
Which that actually happened to even family relationships for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my relationships just died in 2020.
Why do you think that is, though?
And why you can't have friends that have different
Yeah,
politics.
I feel like people have always had different views on things.
And they had friends. I don't know, is it our generation? No, it's not. Because I see older people on Facebook and stuff going off. If you voted for such and such a person, unfriend me. Like stuff like that. It's not just our generation. I think it's these times. Like we're living in very polarizing times.
Yeah. Because that's another thing that could probably make it hard for me to have friends is like I'm way too honest or way too like blunt. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Historically. Yeah. Like I would say a lot of things you're not really supposed to say. And I would call people. I would like think, wow, I'm not being a good friend to you if I'm not honest with you and I don't tell you what I really think. So when you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I really think.
Historically, yeah. But I feel like you don't do that as much anymore.
I don't have any friends.
You don't have a chance to do it?
Yeah. There's no opportunities. But, I can imagine, though, that would perturb people a bit if like, because sometimes I feel like people say they want the truth or they want, honesty or whatever, but really they want to feel good.
They want to be flattered.
Yeah.
They want the truth to be what they want to feel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because like, especially I feel like as you get older, you start to recognize how like every life event kind of changes you. And then you either have to say, wow, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? Or you have to say, it must not have been that bad of a decision and let your ego kind of carry you in the other direction. You know what I mean? I feel like people kind of end up like just changing the reality from like what it actually is to what fits how they want to be themselves.
Blame somebody else.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I find the field of finding relationships and building them to be such a like minefield. Like I don't know how to do it. And I'm scared to do it because they all fail.
And the different values and stuff. Is that what you want to be like around your son and things?
Right. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Because I feel like you always had a very easy time making friends if you wanted friends.
See,
like,
after talking to you about this, I think that's because I have so many brothers and cousins. Like I have 3 brothers that I grew up with like in the same household. Then I have 2 more brothers that lived in different households because it's from my dad's first marriage. You know what I'm saying? And then I have 4 cousins that were all boys. So you know what I mean? I had a ton of guys
that are
around.
in high school with you,
No,
roughly?
in high school with me. It's hard on the spot to know exactly everything.
But close in
like,
age. Within
my
that
older
8,
brother
10 year
and
span?
my younger brother, we were all in high school at the same time. 3 of us at the same school. And then I had a cousin who was in high school at that same time. And then another cousin was a freshman when I was a senior. So it was like, yeah, we're all like within probably 6 years, all of us. But a lot of us within 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I had just a lot of practice communicating with people my exact age. A lot of practice building the relationships. Wait, what is the question even?
It's important. Just like, why do you think it was easier for you to make friends? You know what I mean?
I think that's why. After talking to you about how you have like no one your age that you grew up with. So now I think we need to
get Jack.
think about
somebody.
Getting a sibling for Jack.
Yeah,
okay?
or a few or something.
Well, one at a time, okay? But you know what I'm saying? We really got to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's 5 months now. Dang, and we wait forever, that kid. It could be like you and your brother, not even in high school at the same time.
Right.
And having a brother or 2 in high school was amazing.
I bet.
It was amazing.
Because back when we were in high school, I remember they used to box people in the gym and like
freshman beat down.
Yeah,
day.
there was more like bullying, like real like physical bullying type stuff. And so like I don't know. I mean, I was a girl, luckily. Which that's another thing. Like when people consider you to be like attractive, they think that like, oh, you don't have problems. Like you don't have the same issues.
Same
you know what
feelings. I mean? You're not human.
Yeah, but it's like, well, I was first of all really awkward looking for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I grew in. I'm a late bloomer is what they say, right? Late bloomer. Like so, I don't feel like that played a factor in high school. I don't feel like I gained friends or anything from being cute or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I mean, especially like in high school, if you're not hot, if you're not smoking, you don't look like a grown woman, then like nobody wants to deal with you really.
Right.
Because you're like a child, But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I love that you had so many people around, and I always kind of wanted to be around your family from the time we met.
So it's like a big, warm, loving environment.
Yeah. And that's something that I don't know. I don't know what could replace it, Because as much as, like, luckily with the channels, I've been so distracted from feeling so lonely, you know? But before that, it was just so obvious that you were the only person I have in the whole world. Like, you know what I mean? I have my mom and brother, but that's complicated,
Yeah, very.
And also you can have relatives who are not like friends,
Yeah, I looked up the definition of friend, and it says typically that excludes people that you are intimate with or that are family. Like family's family.
Okay.
You say, hey, I'm going to go make friends. You don't think, oh, yeah, I'm going to my cousin's house to try and make friends with my cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, sometimes I feel like, though, you can be, like, friendly with your family. Like, you can, well, it sounds weird.
Well, you're just
but you
closer.
can be, like, yeah.
Some family members you're closer with. Some you're really
more
distant
similar
with.
to. Yeah. And I feel like, so for me, that was my dad. You know what I mean? Like, me and my mom are very different. And me and my brother are very different.
You know what I think about sometimes?
What?
With family members? Like, if we were not family, would we be friends?
Right. That's a good question.
A lot of the times, the answer is no.
A lot of times, no.
Like, we have nothing in common. We're not interested in the same things, different values, different everything.
Yeah. And, like, when you talk to them, it's almost like you have to force the relationship.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're
so weird.
sitting there, like, trying to care, or they're trying to care about what you care about. And it's, like, so awkward. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of times you wouldn't be friends with relatives. But also, I think your relatives will have your back a lot of times when friends wouldn't.
Yep. It's so just nuanced.
Yeah. It terrified me, like, honestly, until Jack was born. Like, that, like, changed like, I could get so emotional about it. It changed everything because I felt like I went from having just one person in the world to having two. That, you know what I mean?
You doubled.
Yeah, I doubled. I mean, it sounds silly because it's like, well, also though, okay, we've got my parents were both really still attached to their families of origin. Like, I feel like our family unit never gelled and developed into like its own thing,
Right.
So they both, would still, like, my mom wants to spend Mother's Day with her siblings and all of their kids and not with her own, like, kids,
Right.
like that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know, with you and Jack, it's like we have the opportunity to make that family bond,
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, I feel that I gained so much,
You did.
And then, like, I would never wish for him to feel like I'm the only, like, you and I are the only people in the world to him. But it's like, for now, it's like that. And it's kind of like, oh, I mean a lot to someone's relative space of friends, or relationships, close relationships.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually an unconditional relationship too.
Yeah, which is cool, I didn't really expect it, and I hate the idea of, like, getting things you need from your children, because I feel like it's just a bad habit. It's unhealthy, like solving my childhood trauma by having my own child,
Right.
But it does kind of make it start to feel like that warm, loving feeling I observed with your family growing up.
Yeah, and if we grow our family bigger and bigger, then maybe we can have a big, warm, loving environment.
Right? Because it's like, even the parts, like, every family has, like, brokenness. I feel like every group that's close-knit is going to have, like, certain things that are not perfect. But I feel like the more loving closeness you have, you don't notice those things as much, maybe?
Right.
I don't know. They just seem like they fade away. That's not important. Like, I always thought, and then you guys could always play video games together, and, like, you could hang out,
sports,
and share
volleyball
friends
in the backyard.
Yeah, and, like, if you had, like, you had like a childhood friend that he had a little brother who was friends with your little brother, so not only is it like a one-way friendship, but like a, it's all crossed up, and that's pretty cool.
You know what's crazy to
What?
think about? Like, I actually talk to subscribers more than I talk to family or friends.
Yeah.
It's like, to
Yeah,
me,
me too.
internet friends are the new friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you feel even closer to your internet friends
For sure.
than you do to your real
Yeah.
life
And
friends.
you trust them
Yeah.
with more. Yeah.
It's like, if I wanted to vent or just bounce ideas or something,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you or subscribers.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, when we found out we were having a baby, the first people we shared it with were subscribers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but honestly, I feel like modern day, it's nothing to be ashamed about. Like, you totally can have internet friends, even internet relationships. Like people are literally finding their person through internet communities.
Yeah.
And like, of course, the internet's dangerous. Of course, there's, things to be aware of, but I don't know. I trust it more in a way. Like if people find you, they must like you.
Nah.
Or something.
It's also nuanced. It's like not everybody likes you who finds your content. Not everybody who acts like they're your friend is your friend online.
Yeah.
So sometimes I find it like hard to figure out who I can trust and who I can't.
Yeah, true. Okay.
But then just through certain actions and stuff, you're just like, dang, I think this person really cares about me. Like they really have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I found an internet friend.
That's so cool. That feeling is really cool. And then it's like, dang, you wonder if you're ever going to meet in person.
Right.
You wonder.
I think about that all the time.
Right. Do they look how I imagine them to look? You know what I mean?
How does their voice sound?
What is their Yeah, exactly. And then it's like you bond so much over what you have in common that you don't really talk about those things you probably maybe don't agree on. And maybe you would talk about them. Maybe you would agree. But it's like you focus on the friendship more and not so much how you're so different, which is, I think, different than the in-person relationships modern day.
So do you think internet friends are completely replacing real life friends?
Probably, low-key.
You think that's the direction we're going?
Well, okay, if you think about idiocracy and how everyone's just on their couch and just in the house all the time, it's like very possible. Especially since the pandemic, like people are less inclined to go out in general and everything's so expensive that like going out is a whole, investment nowadays.
So we're going from real life friends to internet friends. Do you think the next progression is AI friends?
I was literally, when you were saying that, I was like, but low-key, could AI not be a decent friend?
Ooh, always there when you need them.
Yeah, and then they're probably going to give you somewhat reasonable advice because they have a whole, bucket load of things that they can look into. And
it's just not the same.
It's not.
Without an actual person being behind the keys.
But then, I mean, if you don't see them ever, then how do you know the people you're talking to online aren't AI?
Oh, stop it. What if all of our subscribers are AI?
Yeah, exactly. What if this whole time since 2020, you've been interacting with everyone and it's all AI?
All AI.
Yeah. I feel like you have seen what some people look like. A few people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done video calls like back when I used to be in Discord all the time. It's like I don't really use Discord anymore because there's too much drama in there. I'm moving to locals. Like that's where I want the community to be. On locals. I don't want to be on Discord. I really do not participate there. But in Discord, we used to do video calls. I would hop in video calls randomly. So I've actually seen a bunch of subscribers and had video calls with them.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We used to play games and stuff.
Yeah, we used to play games in Discord.
I forgot about
all kind of stuff. We had a nice little internet community. I loved it back in the gaming days.
I hope that we can have that again.
Phone and stuff. Oh, man. That was so fun.
That was so fun. Late. We'd stay up so late.
I think internet friends are the way to go.
Yeah, it was awesome.